I don't think I'll ever look at chickens the same way again. For most of my life, maybe for yours too, I gotta be honest, I don't spend a lot of time thinking about chickens in general, but when I do, it's that sort of collective way we use chicken to mean cowardly or afraid. What are you, chicken? Right, that kind of thing. Or chicken is just that like universal meat that you can have in all sorts of cuisines, from Mexican restaurants to Chinese restaurants to your local barbecue place, or it's the food that everybody says everything else tastes like. Yeah, it tastes like chicken. And yet, Jesus gives us this surprising image of a chicken as not only someone supremely brave, but also a picture of the death-defying, fierce, courageous love of God that's even willing to go to a cross for us. And after hearing Jesus say it that way, I can never look at a mother hen the same way again. So there's this scene we're going to hear coming up this coming Sunday when at first it starts out with some people who come to Jesus and they have the best of intentions. They're there to warn Jesus, oh, Jesus, you better get out of here because Herod is trying to kill you. And Jesus responds, oh, you tell that old fox. You can sort of see the setup here, right? You tell that old fox, I'm doing my work. You can't intimidate me. I'm on my way doing my work today, tomorrow, and the third day too. Don't you worry about him. And then he turns and looks over at the city of Jerusalem, right? This ancestral capital where God's people, the Israelites, not only had their kings in centuries past, but where their temple was, this place that had been associated for 1,000 years with the worship of God and the place of God's people. And Jesus also sees the way that city is simmering and boiling over with the Roman Empire and Herod and his forces and angry zealots looking to start a revolution and respectable religious people trying to keep order. And he sees this place and all the ways they are going wrong and all the ways they are caught in turmoil. And he sort of weeps over it and says, oh, Jerusalem, how often I wanted to have gathered you to myself like a mother hen gathers her brood, and you wouldn't let me. I mean, it's this heart-aching moment, this moment of unrequited love, of Jesus saying, I want to gather you to myself, and you keep wandering off somewhere else. But underneath it is this image of Jesus being like a mother hen. Which begs the question, I mean, how does a mother hen gather her chicks? And maybe you've seen it before. I have to admit to you, I was dumbfounded the first time I saw it. Maybe you've seen some scene like this where maybe it's at a farm and there's the mama hen and her chicks are just, all around pecking around in the yard. And even if it's a friendly domestic animal like a dog that comes by, certainly if it's a predator like a coyote or a fox or a snake or something, Mama hen will literally sweep out her wings and sort of sweep her little chicks behind her and gather them right up under her as if to say, they'll have to get through me first. They'll have to get through me if they want to get to you. I will lay down my life for your protection. And maybe you've also seen, too, that even when there's no danger around in particular, mother hens, the first few days that chicks are hatched, will just sort of huddle underneath. So you maybe have seen pictures before where there's a mama hen and she's got like about 8 or 10 legs because there's all these chicks that are literally underneath her, and on all the fluff of her feathers, she's just sort of sitting on them, giving them both warmth and stability and structure as they are just getting used to life outside of the eggshell. She makes it possible for them to grow up to be chickens, to be what they're supposed to be. In other words, when Jesus uses this image of how often I wanted to be like a mother hen for you, it's not something fearful or cowardly the way we often talk about chickens being chicken-hearted, right? Cowardly, fearful. But that Jesus describes chickens, or at least himself as a mother hen, as this supremely brave and loving presence. I would lay down my life for you. I would gather you to myself and keep you from the danger. I would put myself between the danger and you, if only you would let me. And of course, it's not long before Jesus lays down his life for the sake of the world at the cross. That what happens at the cross is that Jesus actually puts his money where his mouth is, that Jesus actually does the thing that he has said he would long to do for people. He offers his life and puts himself, arms stretched wide out like a mother hen's wings, in order to place himself between the danger and us. And of course, the scandalous and the really, truly scandalous thing about the Christian gospel is saying that where Jesus is, God is. And so God is the one, no less than God says, they'll have to get through me first. I will be destroyed first. I will absorb the attacks. I'll take the attack and the onslaught of the predators or the foxes or whomever in order to preserve your life. That God loves you so deeply as to lay down God's own life in Jesus, that the cross becomes the place where God indeed becomes like the mother hen who protects the brood no matter how many times we've been wayward and gone wandering off in the barnyard, that God sweeps in and gathers us, even though sometimes it's really hard to hurt us. When you hear Jesus' words that way, not only does it change the way we see what chickens are like, but I think it changes the way we see what God is like too. That instead of picturing God as some distant, angry, bearded fellow like from the Sistine Chapel looking for reasons to zap us, Jesus presents to us a God who is so committed to healing and saving and rescuing that God, like a mother hen, is willing to be brave enough to take on death itself. That's the journey that we're on this Lent. That's what it is to be led toward the cross, to discover just how deeply we are beloved by God, not just you and me, but a whole world full of us. And that there are no lengths God is not willing to go to for the sake of gathering us under God's wings. That's where our conversation takes us this coming Sunday. See you then.